phone device here. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
You like my high pitch in the morning, Dr. A?
I do. I do.
Awesome.
It
Awesome.
is everything.
I know. It's getting better. It's getting better. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for another episode of the Success Spotlight Talk Show. I have again my awesome guest, Miss the opulent Dr. Ray. So before we get started, watch this quick video and we're gonna jump right on into gut health. So we'll be right back.
Right back.
Woo! All right.
I always
So
love that sizzle reel. It's amazing.
oh my God. I got a whole bunch of them. I'm going to start showing some more very, very soon. So thank you, everybody, for hopping on and watching. If you're watching this live, please type in hashtag live. If you're watching this on the replay, type in hashtag replay. It's your girl, Letitia Campbell. I'm your number one sales and systems manager. I believe that every entrepreneur deserves the right to be financially independent so that you can design a life that you, in fact, deserve. For over a decade, I've been helping course creators, network marketers, and service providers grow and scale their businesses by teaching you guys how to discover your unique systems and process so that you can dominate your sales online. So I know I'm showing up live today and doing the show at, I think for the first time at 7:30 a.m. I kind of like this time. Do you like this time, Dr. Ray?
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you picked it.
I did. I did pick it.
I do like this time. Like, just get it out of the way.
Hit the day with
Yes.
purpose and intention.
Hit the ground running, right?
Yep.
So we have a really, really good topic to talk to you guys about this morning. But before we jump into the topic, I want to make a special announcement. Tonight, Dr. Ray and I are going to be doing a special summit on Periscope. I know some of you are like, oh, wait, wow, Periscope. You guys know I started off my live stream career on Periscope, and we're going to be doing something that we do every other week, every other Friday, called Pass the Cast. And it's going to kick off tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have 5 amazing speakers on this summit, including Dr. Ray. We got Michaela Staub, Alita Smith, Charmaine Cardin, Darlene Anthony, and then Dr. Ray is going to be closing it. And it's an amazing opportunity for you guys to get to learn our perspective on the topic of hobby or business. Are you sure? All right. So if you're interested in registering, it's totally free. Go to bit.ly/LCPTC Summit. That's all lowercase. bit.ly/LCPTC Summit. Are you excited about tonight's summit,
I am super excited. We always have a good time on Pass the Cast.
Always have a banged up time, and it's really good, guys. And if it's no better place to be on a Friday night in the late evening other than checking out Periscope and being very interactive and engaged in our summit. And yes, we could do this summit anywhere, but we love Periscope because we get exposed to the whole entire world, and we can really be more free on Periscope versus any other platform. So thank you, Dr. Ray, also for being a panelist on tonight's summit.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We're going to really nail tonight's conversation. But what we're going to be talking about right now is today is about your gut health. What's in your gut, right? And earlier, before we went live, I was talking to Dr. Ray about how I was really surprised at some myths about gut health, right? But before we jump in, Dr. Ray, you can introduce yourself to everyone.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Coach. I really appreciate it. Happy Fearless Friday, everybody. It's your girl, Dr. Ray. I am an acute care physician. I am the #1 gut health strategist, and I'm CEO founder of Better Health with Dr. Ray. I believe you deserve your best health, and that starts in your core. And I help my team members and clients get their better health with my exclusive patented plant-based products and virtual coaching.
That's right. That's right. And how long have you been doing this, Dr. Ray?
Oh, for over 5 years. It's been 7 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And, guys, let me tell you something. Me being 20 weeks pregnant, Dr. Ray has taught me so much about gut health, even before I was, gotten pregnant. And that is like what I've realized. Not only is she so knowledgeable of it, she knows what she's talking about, right? And, she always discovers a plan that's uniquely yours. So those of you who want to reach out to her link is going across the screen on the bottom. So make sure you guys write that down so you can be sure to connect with her after this. So let's jump on to these 5 myths. Miss Dr. Ray, you ready?
I am ready. I'm ready.
All right, let's go over myth number 1. The first myth that gut health is it's as simple as taking probiotics.
Yeah, it can be simple. Gut health can be simple. You definitely do need a system. As simple as taking probiotics, that could be one arm of it. However, it's more involved than that. And in addition, is like Samuel L. Jackson and Jennifer Garner says, "What's in your wallet?" I say, "What's in your probiotic?" Because you might be taking a probiotic and it doesn't even have to be a cheap one. It could be quite expensive. And you're not actually getting the gut health impact that you're trying to get by getting a probiotic. So it's not as simple as taking a probiotic, because you need to know that your probiotic is the best. And there's certain characteristics we look for. And then also gut health is about more than probiotics. Absolutely.
And do you prefer that children start to take probiotics? I know sometimes parents are really reluctant on giving their children certain vitamins and things like that.
Well, interestingly, I've had a lot of parents, when I'm seeing their children as a patient, ask me, especially the kids who get sick repeatedly and wind up in the office so often, they'll say, "Oh, what can I give them to help their immune system?" And the first thing they land on is, which vitamin should I give them to help their immune system? And what I tell them is that you need a quality probiotic. That's really what's going to help them the most. We are now seeing, and formulas are now being created, infant formulas. Infant formulas are now being created that contain probiotics, because some of what we see in early infancy, if children have colic, it has to do with gut dysbiosis. So probiotics help balance that out so that children don't suffer. So we're starting to understand a little bit more about colic. That is also the brain-gut connection in infants, and that's what causes infants to have colic.
And then what I've also noticed is that a lot of times, especially for first-time moms, the doctors don't very rarely talk about that. They just give you a regular vitamin to use. And I didn't know about probiotics. I think about my 3rd child. I never heard of that term in the pediatrician doing these sessions I would have. So a lot of times people don't take it or leverage it for the children, even for themselves, because it's not normally suggested. So I'm glad that we are talking about this, because it's going to start to get people to look at, what can they use. And Dr. Ray has products, just so you guys know, so you don't have to go far. So make sure you guys go to her, write down her link down below, is scrolling on the screen down below. Reach out to her, because she does, in fact, right, Dr. Ray has something for you guys to use. That's really good. Okay. And we're going to talk more about that in a second. But let's jump over. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Arthur. Thank you guys for rolling in. If you happen to pop on, we're just getting started. Great time to share this out or start a watch party, or tag another woman or man on here that you want to be educated more on gut health. We're talking about the myths, 5 myths, the 5 gut health myths, right, with Dr. Ray. So let's jump into myth number 2, Dr. Ray. Cutting out food groups is the answer. Can you explain that?
Well, cutting out food groups, sometimes we think, okay, well, if I'm vegan, right? Good morning, Stephanie.
Yeah.
I, do this or that. There are certain things that are food groups, if you want to call it that, even though it's not a food group like we've been taught in school with the food pyramid, but there are certain food entities, not necessarily a group. I know that sounds like they're the same, but they're not. So certain food groups don't have to be cut out in order to have good gut health, which is what all of us want to have. We all want to have good gut health. We do have to be aware of certain things in our diet that not only are not healthy for us, but actually are absolutely 180 degrees counterproductive to good gut health. So actually, I will be having a free live webinar this Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern called Killer in the Kitchen.
Ooh,
Killer in the Kitchen will be
That's a bad name, girl.
Yeah, Killer in the Kitchen, because it talks about the food groups. It talks about what's going on in our modern day society, that we are getting sicker and sicker. And where is this coming from? So you can get that on my business page for sure. That's scrolling on the bottom that Coach provided. But cutting out food groups is not the answer per se. Of course, you want to be aware of what food groups don't work well for you. So some people need to not do as many carbs if they're insulin resistant. Some people might need to not do as much protein if they're prone to gout. Other people might need to do some things that are a little bit more, good morning, Bethany, might need to do something that's a little bit more calming to the nervous system for certain conditions. So there's a lot of things. We truly are what we eat. So cutting out food groups is not really an answer, but being aware that our diet does have an impact, a tremendous impact on our health. We've got to be aware of that the food that you put in your mouth actually dictates your health in the future.
Awesome. I'm just messaging my mom. I want her to watch this.
Okay. That's I gotta make sure, because my phone just went dead, so I can't see any of the comments right now.
No worries.
So when she comes on, I'm on my laptop. When she comes on, please let me know so I can say hello to your mama.
Yeah, I'm trying to get her to come on. Yeah, I messaged her and I shared the live with her. So I want her to. Hey Danielle, how are you? How are you? So, Mom, if you're on, definitely put some emojis on. When I say emoji, what the hell is it? There go my mama. There go my mama.
Hey, mama. Hey, mama.
Yes, that's my mommy. Yeah, that's my mommy. Yeah, so yeah, I want my mom to come on and watch this because it's a very good conversation. Yes, thank you, Bethany. Thank you, Danielle, for hopping on. Guys, share this out. Start a watch party. Is really, really good. I had a former employee one time. She was trying to become vegan. I'm happy you mentioned that, because a lot of times people are seeing all these different, when they change a dramatic change to their diet, not even a diet, but their eating habits, and they become vegans or whatever else they want to become. I had this coworker where when she did become a vegan, she started to get sicker. Her doctor suggested that she doesn't become a vegan because she wasn't really getting a lot of the nutrients that she needs. If she wasn't, because he did recommended probiotics too. But sometimes you got to consult the doctor, before you decide to make such a huge change like that with your eating, right?
Yeah, and I'm not anti-veganism. I definitely don't want people to have that impression. I'm very familiar with veganism. This is great to see you too, Bethany. This is about what is healthiest for us. And health is not really cookie cutter fashion. It is more about what works for us. So I think that some people, and also too, in order to really be aware of what we're eating and whatever eating style that is, to make certain that we're getting all that we need in order to thrive, in order to be healthy. So I'm not anti-vegan at all. I've actually, we do vegan meals. I'm aware of veganism. I actually can cook vegan, and I do at times. So I'm not anti-vegan. I don't want people to think that we're coming for them this morning. We're coming for y'all. We're not coming for y'all. It's all love, y'all. It's all love.
Yep. Y'all had a good question. She said cheese makes me sleepy, but I love it so much. Is there something in there that causes increase? What's that word?
somnolence.
Oh,
Yeah,
what
it's
is
actually
that?
called tyramines, and certain cheeses have higher levels of tyramine.
Uh-huh.
So tyramines can make you sleepy, but if it's
Mm.
making you sleepy, it's probably causing other things in your body that might not be as apparent. So
Mhm.
even though it loves, you love it, it might not be loving you back. Like for instance, Danielle Marie, you bring that up. I actually had a health scare
Mhm.
last Friday, and it shook me to my core. And I
Yeah.
realized it's because I was eating too much bacon. I
Ooh.
love bacon, but bacon didn't love me back. So I had to
Yeah.
cut that out. So, pay attention to your body cues, because your body will guide you, but your body is a better guide when we actually give it what it needs on a consistent basis.
I see. That's why it's good that we asked you that question, because I thought that she was just lactose intolerant.
Ah!
Something like that. That's the first thing that hopped in my head. But I'm glad that you well, no, I said you can watch it. I don't need you. Mama thought I wanted her to come on the video. I'm like, no,
Okay. Mama says I am camera ready.
I'm
She said
ready.
you
I was
on
like,
there.
no. We'll be here for 18 hours. We don't get that.
Come on, Mama. Don't let Coach tell you no.
Next time. So let's go over the third myth. You need to buy specialty products to support your gut.
Yeah, now as far as specialist products, and to support your gut, I'm going to tell you, I'm the number one gut health strategist, so you're going to know my bias. I don't pull no punches. But what I would like to say is this: I actually, before, so more than 7 years ago, before I became my own gut health strategist,
Mm-hmm.
I would be at your high-end organic food stores getting this super expensive stuff for my gut.
Mm-hmm.
And what I realized is even though I was putting out the investment, I wasn't getting a return
Mm-hmm.
on my investment like I should. So,
Mm-hmm.
quality supplementation is key because no matter what type of eating lifestyle you have, whether that's pure raw food, as far as vegetables, whether that is a paleo or Mediterranean or a dash or whatever one you want to name,
Mm-hmm.
quality supplementation is key. This is why our foods are not as nutritionally dense or sufficient as they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So even when we're very aware of what we're eating, if we're not giving our bodies quality supplementation, that's like trying to give a carpenter um, the stuff that they need to build a house, but
Yeah.
not providing any wood or bricks.
Mm.
So, you have everything there to make something solid, but you don't have the key elements in order to put that structure together. So,
Okay.
quality supplementation is key, but I stress the word quality. How do you know
Yeah.
it's quality? Do they provide a money back guarantee? So do they put their money where their mouth is? Also,
Mm-hmm.
do they have clinical studies?
Yeah.
Because anytime Dick or Jane can bring any type of product to market, these are not FDA regulated. So as long as it's not toxic, meaning poison in a bottle, they can put anything on that shelf and tell you that's
Anything.
a supplement. You don't know what's in there.
Mm-mm. You don't know. You have no idea. And you surprised me about a lot of things when I was telling you, well, this is the products that I'm using. You're like, that's all chalk. And you wasn't just saying that just so to be competitive or anything like that. It was the honest truth. I have spoken to people who, so-called specialized in gut health. They weren't doctors in the past, but they didn't have anything to refer me to. They just gave me a bunch of different ingredients to look out for and things like that. And as a mom, you don't have time to keep
Who has the
reading down
time
the
for that?
bottle. Going
You don't
through,
have time for that.
I know, going through a Walgreens in my neighborhood is the whole aisle, and I'm sitting there turning labels and things like that. It's in trying to read that small writing. It's like so frustrating, right? So just so you guys know, I have used Dr. Ray's products many, many times. I have them in my home. They give me great results. I love them. Y'all know I never bring or vouch for anything unless I have used it for weeks and weeks and weeks at a time. So I can totally vouch that what she offers is the real deal, Holyfield. And you'll never go into a drugstore again, not trying to down drugstores, they have great products as well, but you never go in there again once you utilize her stuff. So her link is going across the bottom of the screen, and make sure you definitely go over and check that out. So let's jump into Danielle had another comment. It's not a question but a comment. She said I find that I can only eat, she's talking about cheese, if it's if she's having an off day, like it's her day off or something like that. I think it's more than maybe she is lactose intolerant. I don't know.
I find that I can only eat it if I'm having an off day.
Yeah.
Oh, probably because she's not doing anything else.
Yes.
So what she's saying is she doesn't have a busy day, she can eat it. It's gonna make her sleepy. Okay, I got it. Because I had all kinds of combinations of scenarios in my head as to what does an off day mean. That means if she doesn't have a busy schedule, she can do it. Yeah.
Sometimes you like you said, the foods that we love sometimes does not love back. My son, he's 13, he's gonna be 14 in 2 weeks, and it's the same way. Yes, if he has like mac and cheese, or if he eats drinks cereal with whole milk, he will, like, his stomach will ache and pain and stuff, but he loves it. He loves it.
Tell him I can understand, because I was the same way. I used to be quite a heavy dairy milk drinker, and I became lactose intolerant, and I couldn't. But what I found too is that even though I was drinking a lot of milk and really loving it, and this was, about your son's age, I'm an early teenager, but I became lactose intolerant, and what I found is as I came off the milk, it was doing other things to my body that I didn't realize. It was causing some bowel issues. It was
that's him.
Yeah. So I mean, and even days after, it was just that day. It was days after, because when I came off the milk, those problems went away, and I was like, oh, okay. Now I realized just how much was going on with me. But I love some milk. I would drink lots of milk.
And even when people say, "Oh, well, do the lactate milk," and I get that, but for some people, it's kind of expensive with that lactate milk. You go to the 2% side or whatever. But I totally,
I do coconut milk, or almond milk. I stay away from soy milk since I'm a breast cancer survivor, but I do coconut or almond, and they do really great for me. And actually, they're about in line with dairy milk. I think it's because so many people use almond in coconut milk now.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of alternatives. There's cashew. Now the one I haven't tried that I've heard about is oat milk.
Oat milk
made from oats.
Yeah.
So
I encourage people to try different things, because sometimes it's a mindset thing. We're like, whole milk. That's why I grew up drinking that. Even though it's hurting out, making us go to the bathroom.
And
then we try something else, we're like, well, this tastes like the same thing,
So, it really does.
Better.
It really does.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump into myth number 4. We have 2 more myths for you guys. And again, if you haven't shared this out, make sure you share this out. Those of you who are tuning in live and y'all being super shy, I see some people on here, definitely type in #live in the comments. Let us know where you do. Please. Yeah. And just tell us, we have a doctor on here, ask Dr. Ray your questions. So let's go over myth number 4. Gut health remedies work in the same way for everyone. How do you feel about that, Dr. Ray?
Well, that's definitely a myth that we know is not accurate, because not everyone has the same issues. So the same way that your oldest son is having issues with milk, your other kids aren't.
Nope.
So if he's having an issue with milk and they aren't, then we know our gut health is not going to be the same. So gut health is important for everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. But gut health is not going to be the same. Like, what I need more of might not be what the next person needs more of. So Yeah, gut health remedies are not going to work the same in everyone. Also, too, not all gut health remedies work the same as each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have one that, once again, I'll go to the clinical studies. I am a physician, I'm a doctor, so data don't lie. People can
Nope.
lie, data don't lie. So you want something that's going to have some data with it. Googling, everybody wants to jump on Google. Oh, they said to do this, to do that, to do the other. Well, if you had getting something that's mixed in somebody's kitchen, I'm just going to put it out there. You don't know how standardized that is. Look, I used to be a compounding physician. A compounding pharmacist. So I was a pharmacist that actually made medication. That is a special certification in pharmacy. So you can't just mix stuff and be like, yeah, that's what it is. No, because for one, unless you're actually growing it, which there are some places that grow it, unless you can certify what is in that soil, unless you have organic certification to grow what you're growing, unless you're making certain as to what's been applied and what's on that plant when it's being taken, harvested to be put into that product, unless you know what your manufacturing processes are, unless you can, maintain a standard of, cleanliness in your area. And no, this is not just wiping it down with some water and bleach. There's a lot of things that go into making a supplement.
Yeah.
And, we have so many people out here who are just mixing stuff up and putting it in a container, and other people are taking it in their bodies.
Yeah.
And I hope no one has an adverse event. But even if you do, what can you do about it?
Exactly. And it could be purging you from your body from different nutrition that you actually need.
And could be poisoning you.
Oh yes, talking about that. That's very, very true. I'm glad you mentioned that. We also have another question here in the chat. Danielle mentioned, Danielle, you can have a few good questions this morning, girl. I love it. She said, Dr. Ray, what is the issue with soy milk for breast cancer survivors? Great question, sis. Great question.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Talk first about your breast cancer first, so we can lead into that and then lead into her question. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. About 9 years ago, it'll be 10 years this December, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I found a lump in my breast, and I went to my doctor and had it removed. And what they found was there was some cancer elements in it. Not all of it was cancer, but some of it was. So then I decided to go on and get chemotherapy and radiation. So it was a long few months for me of losing my hair and having a port. You can see the scar, the port placed and all of that in order for me to survive. I became very aware, and actually that's what launched me on my gut health strategist journey. Is having been through that crisis of breast cancer, I realized that some of what I had faced was due to my own poor gut health, but I wasn't really talked about that. So now keep in mind at the time that I went through breast cancer, I was already a pharmacist and a practicing physician, and I did not know about gut health on a level that I do now. So I went on an odyssey of figuring out what was going to help me. And that's when I found out about a lot of things that can negatively affect a woman in her health. So oftentimes we don't realize how food plays a role in our hormone balance. So one of them that does play a role in the hormone balance is soy. Soy, when it's used by the body, can act like a fake hormone. So it's what we call a phytoestrogen. Okay. So it's a plant-based estrogen. So my particular breast cancer was estrogen positive. So I don't use soy products because my cancer cells were estrogen positive. So putting soy in my system is almost trying to find any cancer cells at any time that might be floating around. And I hate to tell people, but everyone at any time can have cancer cells in their body. They're just looking for additional nutrition. They're looking for additional supply. They're looking for an opportunity to take advantage. So I don't provide soy to my system for that reason. And that's part of the reason I don't do a vegan diet, because
Mm.
tofu is soy.
Yeah, it is.
So, sometimes we want to make these blatant statements that everybody needs to be vegan or everybody needs to be paleo. No, you really don't know.
We're not vegan bashing.
Yeah, no, we're not. But that's why
Uh-huh.
I had to not do a vegan diet, because it is soy heavy. It's quite soy heavy. A lot of
Mhm,
the things have soy. The
mhm,
tofu has soy, and then if you're using, soy milk, but a lot of the products are soy based. And then
mm.
also too, soy as well as corn, and some people say peanuts, are some of the most genetically modified foods that we have in the US. A
Mm.
genetically modified food means that it is pro-cancer forming.
Wow.
So that's how I come and tell people, I say, yeah, what are you eating? But more importantly, where is it sourced? And I'm not talking about it has to be super expensive. No, you can do this affordably. You can do this affordably. You just have to be more aware of
Yeah.
how you're getting it. So not all soy milk is the same. Not all tofu is the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your predilection to certain health conditions is not the same as mine. But for me, I can't do soy. It's
Yeah.
it's not something I can use.
Yeah. This is a really good conversation because it brings me back to even you guys know I have 4 children because I always referencing my son. I have more than one son. So but I because I one time I was mentioning, I kept saying son, but I wasn't being specific on which one. They were like, "Oh, you have a son has all these issues." Like, no, I'm talking about both of them, but I gotta like reference the name. So my other son, he's 7, and he is very allergic to peanuts, and peanut allergies is not common at all in my family. I have one aunt that's allergic to if a bee stings her, like she swells up. Like what's that movie? Like what's that movie with Eddie
Hitch,
Murphy?
Hitch,
Huh?
Hitch with Will Smith.
It's with Eddie Murphy. He was like playing a big guy. He went from being skinny Eddie Murphy to big Eddie Murphy. His lip got big.
Oh, the Nutty Professor.
Yes, yes. Like when she gets stung by a bee, it's like almost like a transformation. Like, oh
Oh
my god, it's
wow.
scary. And my son's the same way. It's like when he takes any type of peanuts, he starts to swell up.
Oh
But
goodness.
it's like you mentioned peanuts. Are you finding that a lot of children are having these allergies that are like we've never heard of before? Allergies to different things. Like I went to a school event last year, and a girl was allergic to pineapple, and because I had pineapple in the cake for one of my children's birthday. And are you finding that more kids are getting allergic to a lot of different things?
I'm finding a lot of kids are getting more allergic to things. I'm finding that people in
Yeah.
general are getting more allergic to things, and
Hmm.
it goes back to gut health.
Yeah. Yeah.
It goes back to gut health. So I'm not saying that necessarily the allergy would completely resolve
Hmm.
with improved gut health. However, a lot of people's allergies would be mitigated if their gut health is actually a focus and actually you have a plan for it.
Yeah.
So, a lot of what we're seeing is a symptom of a bigger issue. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, the allergies aren't the problem. The allergies are what has happened in the course of that person's life that makes them, prone to developing the allergy. But we
Okay.
are seeing more and more as we deal with GMOs, as we deal with processed foods, as we deal with our food supply not being as secure as we like, that
Yeah.
people are getting more and more allergies. But the other thing, too, is that gut health. Your gut health is like the guards out in front of Buckingham Palace
Hmm.
with a red jacket and a tall black hat,
Hmm.
like my afro tall. But the thing about it is, if you don't have that guard on duty,
Yeah.
anything can go into the castle and cause all kinds of havoc and damage.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So by getting the gut health in order, you then have downstream benefits
Hmm.
that people didn't realize that they would get. But we have all kinds of people who have, thank you, Danielle Marie. Um, who have testimonies of getting their gut health right and the myriad of benefits that happen. Thank you, Danielle Marie.
Mhm.
Of all the myriad of benefits that happen because their gut health is better. And it's something that we need to tend to. Gut health is a garden that we have to tend to daily.
Yes.
It's so
Amen.
necessary. It's so worth the effort. Because if you're not doing it, you are setting yourself, and man, woman, older person, child, all of us from the cradle to the grave, whether you're male, female, non binary,
Give us.
whatever, everyone needs good gut health, period.
That's right. Everyone. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk to you about this after the show, and
Okay.
because I know my question is a little more deeper too as well. But I encourage all of you to make sure that you go to Dr. Ray's link. Is I put it up here, and it's also scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And like she said, everyone's gut health is different. So it's good if you guys reach out to her, connect with her. She can refer you to some amazing products and also some other alternatives to help you with your gut health overall results. So thank you so much for sharing that, Dr. Ray.
Oh,
So
you're
the
welcome.
Yes, the last myth we want to talk about this morning is changing your diet or taking probiotics will yield immediate results. What is your perspective on that, Dr.
I
Ray?
wish that were true. I wish that were so true. Oh man, that would be awesome.
Oh, yes, it would.
Reason being is if we had immediate results, then it would be so rewarding,
Mhm.
just immediate. But it's a process. It's a process. Like anything worthwhile, it's going to take a little time. Changing your diet, and I'm not a nutritionist. I'm a
Mhm.
gut health strategist, so I don't give people instructions on their diet. Reason being is that's not my lane.
Mhm.
Now I know what certain foods can lead to certain illnesses, but as far as making certain that you get all of your recommended daily allowance of, anything, diet based,
Mhm.
that's not me. But changing your diet to something that is more healthy for you is definitely, I hope everyone is doing. Good morning, Therese. I hope that everyone is doing that,
Yes.
whatever that is, whether that's, in avoiding certain ingredients that are pro-inflammatory or causing you health issues, you want to make certain to do that. In taking probiotics, giving you immediate results, absolutely not, because a lot of times, as we're getting our gut health right, we have to start where we are. And where we are is guts that are inflamed. We can have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. We have a lot of things in play. So it's like going into a huge mansion that you've inherited from a wealthy uncle or aunt, and you're like looking on the outside and you're like, oh, that's a beautiful house.
Mhm.
Gorgeous. I can't wait to get inside. And you open the doors and all this dust hits you in the face. And you're
Mhm.
like, oh, well, the house is solid.
Yeah,
Well, we got to do the work to get that interior the way it needs to be.
that's right.
So no, it's not going to be immediate results. And actually, it can get worse. That's why I use the analogy of the dusty mansion, because you walk in there and the smell of closed up things that haven't been aired out, and all the dust that's all around, and your eyes are burning, and you're sneezing, and you're coughing, and doing whatever. But you know that if you push through and get that place cleaned up, it is going to be a tremendous resource for you.
Mhm.
That's what your
Mhm.
gut health is like.
That's
So
right.
it
That's
might
right.
look all right on the outside, and people might not even be aware of all that their poor gut health is impacting right now. But if you go inside and do the work, and the work usually can be a little bit daunting,
Mhm.
okay? It can be daunting because you might actually feel worse in the beginning because you're pushing all that dust around.
Yeah.
But it's got to come out of there. And you got
Mhm.
to ventilate those spaces. You got to get everything moving. But once you get things in good order, talking about tremendous energy, having better sleep, dealing with less headaches, dealing with less skin rashes. A lot of people don't even realize that their skin issues don't require another cream, don't
Mm-mm.
require a different soap. It
Mm-mm.
requires you getting your gut health in order. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people don't realize that sometimes those funny colored nails, yeah, you can go ahead and go to the doctor and get that cut out or whatever, but what caused the discoloration in your nail? So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like we were talking about earlier, if you're in tune with your body, it'll talk to you.
That's
But
right.
it has you have a better quality dialogue with your body when you're providing it what it needs. And if you don't, you can have an incident like I had on last Friday, but I'm listening. I'm realizing additional things that my body needs because nobody has absolutely all the answers. I am an expert, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have to be honest and authentic in my own journey that I slipped up and my body sent me a huge red flag.
Yeah.
And I am going to change things for the better for myself right now and not just go, okay, well, that happened. I hope it doesn't happen. I'm going to do everything that I can in my humanly power. I'm going to start with prayer first,
Amen.
bringing it to the Lord to give me his grace and his blessings. The next thing I'm going to do is so I pray like everything depends on God because it does.
Mm-hmm.
And then I work like everything depends on me because faith without works is dead.
That's right.
So, you know, I am doing both and I help people to get those systems in place that I'm going to tell you, my physicians I worked with last Friday were astounded by me because they did not understand how come some of my labs look so bad. And I'm sitting in a hospital bed talking to them like I'm talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, this time at 7:23 a.m. my side, I was getting wheeled from the emergency room to the floor for them to run every test known to man in order to figure out what happened to me. And I'm grateful for that. But that was a red flag. Don't let your bad health be a red flag. Be wise and do it on the front end. Don't wait for bad health to come to you because let me tell you, if you're not doing something for your gut health, you are going to have some health crises that might rock your world and you might not rebound from. I hope it doesn't happen to anyone. I'm just brass facts. This is what it is. And bad health doesn't put an appointment time on your calendar. It just shows up on your doorstep.
Out of blue.
Out of blue. Yeah.
That is so true. You know, Dr. Ray, I really appreciate you joining me for this morning. This is
thank you for having me on.
love talking about this topic, and
I do too.
Yeah, especially the fact that you've experienced it. You're being totally transparent right now. You're coming from the side of a real day-to-day, everyday woman.
Yeah.
You know, period.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so, you know, speaking to you and listening to all this stuff that you're saying is definitely going to help a tremendous amount of people out there all over the world. Yes, absolutely. So if any of you have gotten any value from watching this, I encourage you guys to make sure you copy down that link below and reach out to Dr. Ray immediately. You may think that you're in the best gut health right now and you haven't had any serious issues. I had to go to the hospital in the past 6 months or whatever, but you never know, you know, what can happen tomorrow, right? And instead of trying to put a band-aid on the issue, let's start to get you to work towards a routine that's going to allow you to live that best life that you want to live without any issues or what have you. So, you know, Dr. Ray, is there anything else you want to close with this conversation for everyone who's watching?
Yeah, definitely. Please join me for my free health webinar tomorrow. It's called Killer in the Kitchen. So you want to make certain to get in there. Like I said, it is free. You need to get into on my business page. At the top of that page, it's a link for you to get into the webinar, Killer in the Kitchen. It'll be at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it might be some information that'll surprise you.
Yes, and her webinars are amazing, y'all. And I'm going to put the link up. You're welcome, love. I'm going to put the link up on the screen again for you guys to jot that down and check her out. Also, DM her if you want more further information. I know she wouldn't mind me saying that she's totally open to answering questions and
absolutely.
pointing you guys in the right direction, right? Pointing you guys in the right direction.
Just
Also,
no medical advice.
no
Don't ask
matter. Yep, she puts that up there on her page. Absolutely. Yes. So also I want to close out today with letting everybody know to, if you are at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, we're going to be kicking off another Past the Cast discussion. We're going to be talking about hobby or business. Are you sure? Okay, we're going to be kicking off at 9. We have 5 speakers on the panel tonight. We have Michaela Saab, Smith, Charmaine Carden, Darlene Anthony, and the Dr. Ray. So make sure that you join us. To register, go to bit.ly/LCPTC Summit. It's all lowercase. And hop on over and check us out. Like Dr. Ray said earlier, we have a lot of fun on our summits, so you don't want to miss it. And it's a really conversation to have, right? So Dr. Ray, I know you're excited about tonight. I'm super excited about tonight, and I can't wait to see you guys there. So we're going to close out on that note, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of my Success Spotlight Talk Show. As always, till next time, bye.